any queries. So we are going to use the UI, how the UI can help us to create some objects, right? So that is what we are going to do it initially. So I just go to database first, okay? Fine. So we have gone into the database tab. So go to create, and I'm going to create one database named ABC Motors, okay? Fine. So this is one imaginary organization where they are dealing with some cars and spare parts, car spare parts, okay? So that is what my sample data is available with me. So I'm just using that one. So you can say that this is data warehouse for ABC Motors, something like that, okay? So some comment you can give it. And you have created one. You can see that you have created one database, right? Fine. So if you want to grant privilege to some other users, right? Some other roles, if you want to do it, right? So you can give it from here itself, right? So not now, we don't require it now. Fine. Now, the next thing, we are going inside the database, and you can see that we have tabs for table, view, schema, and many other things, right? So we'll do one by one. So we require a table, right? So that is what, that is where you can store data, right? So like any other database, Snowflake also stores data in tables only. Stages are used for temporary purpose, and stages are not in table format, right? Stages means that is like your file system, right? So where, for example, it is like a drive, right? Yes, D drive, C drive, like that. Some drive is there, like stages, and it can have multiple folders and multiple subfolders also. But the folders and subfolders, we need to create it, right? So we can configure them in that manner. Okay, fine. So now create a table. So I'm just following the what I have given in the hands-on, right? So I will be sharing that PDF later on with you. So I'm just following that. STG payment. Okay, STG stands for staging. So people who are familiar on data warehouse terms, you will be knowing that what is a staging table and what is a actual target table, right? So I'm just creating a staging table. That means that temporarily I'm going to load data here. Then from there, I will be loading data into a permanent table. Okay, fine. So I'm just using some naming convention, right? So it may be even payment also. That is fine. Just I'm using STG underscore payment. Okay, fine. Now you see that we have only one schema available here. By default, we have not created this schema, but by default, when you are creating at any database, public schema will be created, right? Fine. So public schema is the default one. If you are not mentioning any schema, Snowflake will point out to the public schema. Okay, so that is how it's been there. For example, if you are mentioning a table called payment, right? Select star from payment means it will go and search the payment table inside the public schema. Okay. If you are giving select star from sales start payment means sales start payment means the sales is mentioning the schema name. Okay. So that is how it works. Fine. Now I choose this public to store information on payment, something like that, right? So I'm just giving a over there. Then I need columns. Okay. In my example, I'm going to give just 2 columns only. Okay. So I'm just adding only 2 columns. So the first column, I call this as payment ID, right? Fine. Then I call this as payment description or okay, or name, whatever it is. So you see that I have given okay payment ID and payment type, right? So I just go with this example. So later on, if you are referring that, you don't need, you will not be getting confused about it. Okay. So when you talk about the data types, actually I have a lot of data types to be described, but because you people are more familiar on databases, I don't need to explain everything together. Just a small thing about these are all normal data types, right? So integer, timestamp, double number, varchar. So these are all date, float. Up to that, these are all very ordinary and common data types you will be seeing on any other database, right? Now, Boolean also you are familiar with that. Variant object array. Okay, so these three are some exclusive data types available on Snowflake, where it is used to handle semi-structured data, right? So when you are loading semi-structured data, you can load only to any one of these data type only. Okay, so that is what. So when we are going there, we will see that one. So now payment ID should be integer, right? So I was telling you that should be an integer, right? And payment type, just you leave it as a string, right? So if you want to make it as not null, you can make that also, right? That is an optional one. Fine. So you finish it off. So you can see that you have created one table now, right?